Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. It's time to do the Cruel Labyrinth. We just finished Cruel Malachi, so now we move on to the next boss. In between episodes, as I have gotten into a habit of doing, I did a little bit of trading. I wanted to get my resistances positive for Merciless, and as a result I got this very nice shiny ring which boosts my cold resistance by a ton and it gets me a bit of damage and life. And I got this very nice belt which also has a ton of life, lightning resist and chaos resist, and a little bit of elemental damage with weapons. So our damage went up a little bit and our chaos resistance is currently at 67% in Cruel, and that's going to be 27% in Merciless. And the other resists are 60 plus in Merciless, so that's going to be or they're going to be reasonable in Merciless, put it that way. Currently just over resisting by a bit, and once we pick up the diamond skin in the Marauder area, which is a 15 to all elemental resists, it's 2 points to get it, then we are going to be maxed out on elemental resistances in Merciless. So I'm feeling reasonably confident about things now. We have more than 2500 life, we even have 26,500. We got some armor, we got some evasion, obviously we have some block from dual wielding. We have life regen, we have life leech. We have fortify, that's on our primary attack, so it's going to be up all the time. We have a dual using blasphemy curses, Enfeeble and temporal chains. So opponents are going to be slower, they hit less and they hit less hard. So I think I've done just about everything I can do in order to give myself every bit of advantage I can get against Izaro here. So now all I have to do is not die. I hope I can manage that. I've gotten enough experience with the not dying part. I mean, I'm level 62 currently, so let's see how we get through. Oh, of course, we have our Stompy Totem that's gonna boost our damage even more. It's gonna get us to 2700 points. And this looks like a little bit of a dead end. I'm gonna look for an exit there. I think that's a better idea. I mean, this is a 55 area, I'm 62, so I'm 7 levels over leveled. Most of the mobs in here shouldn't pose too much of a challenge. I mean, they're literally weaker than Dried Lake, and I've been farming Dried Lake for a bit too much. Dried Lake is a nice place to wait while you're waiting for some AFK traders to return, things like that. Or to not return, that also happens sometimes. I have to say, hardcore prophecy trading, way better than Stand Lake. The response rate is much higher. So that's pretty good. So Labyrinth is usually, it takes a while, and the Labyrinth itself, with the exception of the Izaro boss fights, is not overly exciting. Golden door means we need to find the exit with a golden key. So just wanted to just think aloud a little bit about the upcoming expansion, Atlas of Worlds. It's been announced last weekend, or last Friday evening. It's Monday now. I was away for the weekend, so I have done my best to catch up on reading what has been announced. It looks very interesting so far. Let's see, fortify Chest of War Chief. So Atlas of Worlds is gonna focus on the endgame. It's gonna focus on maps specifically. Currently there are 70 maps in the game. They're gonna add another 30 to round it out to a nice 100. They are gonna rebalance the tiers a little bit. Currently there's like 6 or 7 tier 1s that's gonna get reduced to 4. Tier 2 similarly, that's also gonna get reduced to 4 as well. And no, most of the maps is gonna get shuffled around a little bit. And the maps are gonna be placed on the thing that's gonna be what the expansion is named after. It's gonna be placed on a Atlas of Worlds. It's a map with maps. Ooh, velvet gloves. Data tenure. That's one I've seen more often. So currently, in the current game, once you enter Merciless Act 4, you will start finding maps for monsters, and there's going to be tier 1 maps. By playing in maps, you will occasionally get drops for other maps, and from regular mobs you can get up to the tier that you are playing in. From blues I think you can get +1, yellows is +1 as well, and from the boss you can get up to 2 tiers higher than your current one. By doing a quest for Zana, you level her up, and Zana offers maps for sale. So that is also a way to build up your mapping pool and advance it a bit beyond what you would get normally from fighting. I mean, you could be buying like tier 6 or tier 7 maps from Zana while you're still playing tier 1, for example, if you got her to like level 3 or 4. Also, finding Zana, the master for mapping, no, it's a bit of a random factor, especially in new leagues. Somewhere within the first 20 or 30 map runs you have an opportunity of running into her. And then it might be that the quest she gives you is pretty bonkers and you might fail it, and then you need to find her again in order to add her. I think I'm gonna go there. So, changes. Zana, I think the first time, after completing your first map, and I think the community is slightly uncertain of what completing means. The speculation is that completing means what you would expect, and that is killing the boss. And the community is really hoping that it doesn't mean full clear, because full clearing maps blows. I don't think anyone likes it, and the fact that they have achievements based on full clearing twin maps is bad enough. But completing the first map, or your first map, will automatically unlock Zana in the mapping place. That's going to be the observatory in Act 3. Okay, we can go through here. Slightly focusing with the traps. Oh, hello, Devourer. So Zana is now guaranteed, which is nice. I think it's also already been announced, or not even officially announced, but it was mentioned in an interview, I think, that once you have one master, once you have your hideout upgrade to the largest size, though that comes at getting one master to level 7, that allows you to upgrade to the largest size, then you will be able to invite all the masters to your hideout rather than just the 3 you currently can. So that's a very nice quality of life improvement. But yeah, encountering Zana first map, you get Zana, so that's gonna be nice, which means you can now start building up a mapping pool a bit earlier. But the way you advance through the maps is gonna be different. I think you can still do the same thing with the maps and the random drops. But the Atlas of Worlds starts with 4 maps unlocked. It's a map with maps linked. It's a bit like the skill tree, but then with just maps on it. And you start with the 1 map in each of the corners of the map unlocked. Those are going to be the tier 1s. And once you complete a map, you will unlock it, so to say, or check it off, or however you wanna call it. And then all the adjacent maps are going to be unlocked for you to play. And the maps that you play on will only be able to drop maps that you either have unlocked anywhere on the map or that are adjacent to them. So by playing in a certain area on the map, you will be able to unlock certain types of maps, which sounds interesting. Since it gives you a little bit more of a direction to, if you want to look for specific maps, then you will be able to find them in a predictable manner, it seems like. So that seems interesting. Because there's less of the lower tiers map progression, you will be able to progress a bit faster into the medium tier maps, I believe. And you will be able to enchant maps with, I think it's like an orb that's called a sextant. which is something that deals with navigation on the ships, but they're also using it for the maps. And that will, for 5 charges, will put a random modifier on the map, so that's similar to just randomly enchanting it with what you normally would do, but it will put 5 charges in a small AoE or area around the map, which sounds interesting. So you can have extra enchantments or modifiers on maps on top of the maps that you already have. Since now the map items themselves still drop and you can enchant them. Also, there's going to be a bit of a rarer thing that will allow you to upgrade the tier of maps. So now say you're doing the crypt and you find one of those upgrade things, or then you can upgrade the crypt, for example, and then from that point on, if you play in the crypt, it will have a chance of dropping a crypt map that's 5 tiers higher than normal. And I think you can apply those bonuses to all the maps up to tier 11. So you will never be able to go above the highest tier, which is tier 16 in maps. So there's a bit of a balancing mechanism in there. But especially if you combine it with those sextants, where you can add modifiers to maps on top of the regular enchanting you can already do on maps. It means you can potentially make maps a lot harder, and also for some of the standard maps or the lower level maps, you can recycle them and give them new life by playing them at higher tiers and higher difficulties. So if you have a really favorite map, you can play it a lot more now, which is pretty cool. And I think I'm just ending up doing a full clear here in order to get to the bloody golden key. Let's see, okay, then yeah, we get the heck out of here. There's a door there, but that's on the other side, okay. And then we just nope back to where we came from. Just trying to pay a little bit of attention to where we are going. Where the heck did we originate? There. See if we can cut through the maze a little bit. So some of the maps will have map-specific base items that can drop. The one they kept demoing over and over again in the different videos and articles I've seen is a helmet that has a damage bonus to minions. And that will drop in a cemetery-like map, which seems fitting. And I believe they will have multiple of those base items. There's going to be a new belt which has armor and evasion on it, but if you've been following the news a little bit, now that's the one that CGD is working with as the community unique new base item. So you might have already picked up on that one. And they're adding more things. There's going to be a steel ring, which is like an upgraded iron ring, but it has a base level of, I think, 80. So you're not going to find it until you're very far into the game. But at that point it's going to be a relevant upgrade, so that is pretty cool. But I like the focus of the expansion on the end game. It does mean that I actually want to focus on that new content. And that got me thinking, if you play it on hardcore and you die, that means you have to rebuild the character in order to continue playing. Because well, I could continue on softcore, but there's also going to be a new league which I'll get into in a bit, which I also am very curious about. Seems interesting at least. So I want to play the new content, build up a mapping pool, things like that. And I want to play in the league, so I'm actually very, very tempted to play in the standard league for a change, rather than in the hardcore league. I'm currently still thinking it over, but I think for my main character, I probably gonna go Standard League. In order to explore all the maps, the mapping system, and not having to basically cancel the series, basically having to cancel the series if we run into a death occasion. And because maps tend to be pretty spiky, death is gonna happen. Let's see, just dump everything in here. So after the Izaro fight, let's talk a bit about the new league, the Essence League. Okay, we turn them up. Actually, I don't think I want this as a challenge, I just wanna kill the thing. Okay, trying to get better at flask management here. Okay. Let's just get rid of some of these add-ons. Okay, you. Just flasking a little bit here. Okay. More flasks. Flasks are very good for dealing with the excessive damage. Okay, we got all the lieutenants down. Then we can go for him. And it was the moment too soon. Okay, first ton is down. 2 more to go. Okay, new league, Essence League. So it's gonna be another one of those leagues where you will have the choice in order of playing the content rather than being forced to play the content. So I think the devs did learn quite a bit from Talisman League and Perendus League, where some of the content was pretty difficult or sometimes just completely broken, and forcing people to interact with that content wasn't considered to be a fun thing. Now, later on, when things got balanced, people got slightly better about it, but the initial experience was not always positive for some people. So Essence League, you will encounter just frozen monsters every once in a while, and they're frozen with essences or some kind of fluffy story backing, but basically they're frozen. And by clicking on them a couple times you unfreeze them and they will unleash, and they're a bit more powerful because those essences are magical essences, of course, and there's like 25 different ones and they all have different effects. And after you defeat monsters that are affected by those essences, you get the essence, and the essence is basically comparable to an orb of alchemy, as far as you understand, that has a specific item drop, and I wanted to not upgrade this one. Yeah. So basically they upgrade items to a rare with a specific mod guaranteed to be on there, which is pretty darn cool. Some of the things we have seen includes adding a really nice life roll on things, and I think the essences have 7 different tiers, and if you have 3 of one tier you can upgrade them to a higher tier, and presumably that's gonna also bump the level requirement and things like that in order to keep things slightly balanced. But having more control over what you over the rare items you roll is gonna make rare items just even better to play with, and especially as someone who not only trades a little bit to acquire stuff, but I still craft quite some items. Being able to more surgically craft items, getting some of the mods that I need on there, so you're not stuck just randomly rolling until you get something that doesn't suck. Maybe sometimes just 1 or 2 mods are enough, so I think that's really interesting, and I'm really curious to see how it's gonna work out in practice, if it's gonna be as nice as I'm anticipating, or if it's in the end it's not gonna matter, or if it's gonna be too overpowered, or but so yeah, that's a league I'm definitely interested in, and that's also why I would rather not see my character drop out of the league into Standard League, because I've been playing way too much Standard League this league already with my Frostbolt character. No, it was fun to play. I did miss out on some of the prophecy stuff, I did miss out on some of the achievement stuff. And that's something that's... yeah, it's also kind of annoying. It would be nice to actually get some of the achievement MTXs and things like that. I don't believe this league we had truly interesting ones. I mean, I personally don't really care to get the monkey, for example. Maybe I shouldn't get hit by stuff. Get around here. Yep. Where we go there. Another switch. Okay, another switch. And I think we just walked around things. Ooh, large pack. Must kill them all. So yeah, I'm gonna try Standard League for a change, just to focus on the end game content and also focus on the league at the same time. So yeah, that's gonna be a slight change from my usual thing. Depending on how interesting the Essence League turns out to be, or how interesting or balanced the endgame content is, I might start a secondary character later. Hey, he was moping about Argus. Oh, hello there Argus, how are you today? I didn't even see you. Oh, I clicked a door. So, face tanking Argus without drinking potions? Oh, seems reasonable. He's not even hitting me. He's really going all out on the golem right now. Golem is the only one that's losing life. The totem is still fine. Okay, now he's angry at me. But still, we really regain our life really quickly. Okay, treasure key. Oh, that's always fun. A little bit of extra treasure. No, never hurts anyone. And now he's all sad. We killed this poor little Argus. So I think going for the maximum number of treasure keys is a wise thing to wait with until basically you want to skip one difficulty level. So if I would go back to normal, sure, I can just run it max bonuses. If you're just doing it for the first time, or if it's your current difficulty, so to say, yeah, then there's the, let's see, this is the one we want to kill before he absorbs it. Be very, very resistant until he tries to, ooh, wow. Okay, next one. Just trying his, yep. Okay, we got it down. Good. Now we can go for him. Which is about nowish. Yeah, we got him. Good, good. Okay, another fight done. Time for a little bit more talking. So there are still things to be announced. The devs announced there would be 2 brand new skills for the next league. Or with the next big patch, so to say. Ow. Ow, that's not the passage through. But 2 brand new skills, and I believe they might be skills that use the new channeling mechanic. For a while we've had skills like Incinerate. That, no, they emulated channeling, but they weren't really, they just build up stacks internally. Flame Totem being another one that feels like a channeling skill, but isn't quite a channeling skill. So a number of those skills that we currently have are going to get overhauled in order to use the new channeling mechanic. And basically, well, while you are holding the casting button for that skill, you are considered to be in a channeling state. channeling the skill, of course. It's just like while you are, it's being in a casting state or an attacking state. You just get another state in that you can be in, and that other skills can proc off of. So, no, you could have things that give you extra armor while you are channeling. That could make you do more damage or reflect damage or something while you are channeling, or no, all kinds of interactions are now possible because it's a new state that has been added to the game, or will be added to the game. It's not there yet. So they haven't announced specifically what the skills are, at least not the last time I read any news. Might of course have been posted while I was playing or something like that. In that case, I'll find out soon enough. So, depending on what the skill changes are gonna be, I might do a build with the new skills. Or I might do a build that focuses on totems. Which I'm still theory crafting for, but it's gonna be something with a chieftain using lots of fire and going ancestral bonds. So it's gonna be totems all over the place and not actually doing any attacks myself. Been 2-year recrafting. I've rerolled one of my old marauders into a chieftain. So far seems interesting. Just need to level some of the gems a little bit in order to get a good sense for the damage, if I need to drastically alter the build or if what I'm thinking about is relevant. Especially if I want to go maps, then I need to have a build that will be able to do enough damage in the end game while allowing me to be very defensive. Nice thing about a chieftain, as just any marauder, marauders are built to be tanks. Wow, that was a really nice run into. Marauders are built to be tanks. Got a lot of bonuses to life, to armor. And if you're gonna make the totems to the damage, that means that you don't need to focus on weapon skills and things like that. So there are some interesting trade-offs that by just focusing on the totem nodes rather than the attack nodes, you can get a lot of damage out of it. Okay. Maybe I should stay in your face. Just put my defensive things up, boost our damage a little bit. Oh, you're gonna teleport me. I don't like you. I think the feeling is mutual. Let's keep our defensive flasks up and we just wipe his face. Or wipe the floor with his face, more specifically. Wiping his face kind of sounds like he's a baby and he's a bit too big to be a baby. And that's that. So loot I can just focus on later. For now we're gonna ascend. And we're now a gladiator. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we get 2 points. Yes. So last time we went for gratuitous violence, which does more damage against bleeding enemies because bleeding and they explode. Now we're gonna focus on getting charges. So that's gonna be more attack speed and more attack damage. That's gonna be interesting. 24 becomes 2580, so that's almost 200 DPS extra. Woo. So we get main hand kills get a 25% chance to generate a frenzy charge. Offhand kills generate a endurance charge. Because we're dual wielding, we should be alternating between them, so that should work out just fine. Maximum frenzy means 10% more physical damage. Maximum endurance charges mean 10% less damage taken, which is very, very nice. So that also means that because we now have those charges that we'll be generating, next goal is going to be to get a vigor and a savagery in order to up our charge count by 1 for each and to make them last slightly longer, which is always a very good quality of life change. And then we'll just pick up on the other things. Because we're heading into Merciless, I want to get Diamond Skin as well in order to top off our resist. But we can grab that whenever. I mean, X1, you usually don't need the resists. That's not going to come in until later. Divine Font, we can enchant gloves or boots. We're going to go for boots. We have Windscreams, which now add more damage if you haven't killed recently. Interesting. So the first blow is going to do more damage. So that adds about 100 DPS. Well, until we get a kill, of course, and then it drops off. So there are stronger ones, but yeah, sure, fine, whatever. And then we have a little bit more loot to pick up. Pick up and pull down. Wait, we had an iron staff that we needed to ID. Realm Shaper. +1 to the level of fire gems and cold gems. Gems are supported by a level 5 cold to fire. That's interesting. And you get extra fire and cold damage and elemental damage. So if you're into a low level elemental damage build, it seems to do a lot, but it's very low level, so I'm not sure how relevant it is going to be in later in the game. And we put some more things out. So didn't get a lot of stuff from here, but we got enough. So that's going to be it for now. We managed to defeat Izaro. He did do some damage. Basalt Flask and the Granite Flask really did help us to just tank. In this fight it's useful if he's telegraphing an attack. Just drink your flasks, make sure your defenses are as strong as they can be. And that will help you stay alive in the fight. So for now, we're gonna move to Merciless in the next episode. We're gonna set out from Lionized Watch and see how fast we can blitz through Merciless difficulty in order to get to the end game. So, gonna thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.